Okay, so I'm going to go through the answers to this ratio purple sheet. Okay, so question 1, it just says simplify 18 to 33 to 24. Okay, you've got to first of all recognise what times table they're all in. They're all in the 3 times tables. Divide them all by 3 and you're going to get 6, 11 and 8. That's a 1 mark question. Question 2, divide £450 in the ratio 3 to 5 to 1. Okay, first of all, how many parts have we got in the ratio? We've got 9 parts altogether. That's a weird looking 9. So we're going to split that £450 between those 9 parts. So 450 divided by 9 gives you £50 in each. Okay, so we've got 3 parts, we've got 5 parts, and we've got 1 part. So £50 in each of these means that there is going to be 150 in the first part. This one, again, these are all worth 50. 5 lots of 50 will give you 250. 1 lot of 50 will of course just give you 50. And that's a 2 mark question. Okay, so you get 1 mark for splitting it between 9, so 450 divided by 9, and the final answer is the last mark. Do not simplify it, that does not work. Next one. So it says 1/5 of the class have black hair, 3/10 have blonde hair, and the rest have brown hair. Express this as a ratio of black to blonde to brown. So we want this as a ratio of black to blonde to brown. Okay, and so far we have 1/5 of black hair, 3/10 blonde hair, and then the rest have brown hair. Now we've got 1/5, we've got 3/10, we've got to find out what the rest is. Okay, what we could do is we could make them the same denominator, so they both go into 10. So 5 goes into 10, 10 of course goes into 10. So double the 5 and double the 1, we're going to get that. Okay, so 2/10 plus 3/10 is 5/10. Take that away from a whole, you'll get again 5/10. You could put it as a half. However, if you keep the denominators the same, it makes it a lot easier. Now, we want this as a simplified ratio. That's not a simplified ratio. Okay? So, if you times everything by 10, in other words, get rid of all the denominators, that will be your answer. 2 to 3 to 5. Apologies for that disturbance. I just got a text. Believe it or not. Right. Ratio using prior knowledge. So this uses units. We've got to simplify 3 kilometers to 6,000 centimeters. Kilometers and centimeters. We need to make them the same unit. Okay? So, apologies, a bit of fluff there. Make them the same units. Easiest thing to do will probably be turning them into meters. So 3 kilometers, of course there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so this is 3,000 meters. 6,000 centimeters, remember, be careful, there are not 1,000 centimeters in a meter, there's 100. So divide this by 100, you're going to get 60 meters. Okay, simplify this, let's divide it by 10 first, we're going to get 300 to 6. What else could we do? We could divide it by 3, 100 to 2. What else could we do? We could half both of them, 50 to 1, and that doesn't simplify any further. We don't technically need to put the units on this because it is an absolute ratio now. Okay, simplify 4 weeks to 4 days. Turn them into equivalent units. Okay, so 4 weeks times it by 7, we get 28 days. To 4 days. Divide that by 4, you're going to get 7 to 1. Okay, both of these are 2 marks. Okay, so 1 mark for that, 1 mark for the answer, 1 mark for that, 1 mark for the answer. Cool. Right, next one. Express 20 to 45 as a ratio of 1 to n. Okay, so the side that the 1 is on, we're going to do that. And we've got to find out what that n is, what that missing number is. How do you get from 20 down to 1? You divide by 20, so you've got to divide this by 20 as well. So, classic mistake that people make here is thinking 45 divided by 20. Oh, that's 2.5, isn't it? No, because it's if you do 45 divided by 20, I mean, you could do it. You could do it the bus stop way, but you could think of it as 2 lots of 20 and quarter for 20. So 2.25, 2 1/4. Okay, so 2.25 for that one. Okay, next one. Aaron has 150 euros left over from his last holiday to Spain. He's going back and he wants to bring 400 euros with him altogether. And it also says that €1 is 90p. Okay, so he's got that already. He doesn't need to change that into anything. So we need to see how much he needs to change into euros from pounds. So let's take away that 150 first. So 400, take away the 150, would give you 250 euros that we actually want. Okay. Now, of course, euros have a higher number than pounds. So we've got to see how many pounds we use. Using this exchange rate, we're going to multiply by 0.9, and that gives us £225 that will convert into euros. Okay, £225 is the final answer there. Okay, next up, it says, let me show you actually. Nick and Chris have some sweets between them in the ratio 3 to 8. Chris has 40 sweets more than Nick. How many sweets are there in total? Okay, so we've got them in the ratio 3 to 8. Chris has, what was it, 40 more. 40 more. The key part here is the more. Okay, so how many more parts do we have how many more parts does Chris have in the ratio? He has 5 parts to the ratio. So that means 5 parts of the ratio, 5 more parts is 40 more sweets. So that means 1 part of the ratio is 40 divided by 5, which is 8 sweets. Okay. How many parts have we got in the ratio altogether? 3 and 8. 3 at 8 is 11 parts. Times by 8 sweets, we're going to get 88 altogether. That's the final answer. Okay. Next up, which deal is better value? So we've got 2 possible deals here. So Colgate, 200ml tubes, £1.28, £1.20 each, 3 for 2 offer. Aquafresh, 250ml tubes, 95p each. Okay, so what we've got to do, let's use the same board because we've run out of boards. What we've got to do is see how much each is per equivalent amount. So let's go for the Colgate first. So 200ml tubes, they're £1.20 each, and they are 3 for 2. So let's get the price of 3 of them, shall we? So we'll get 600ml for 3 tubes for the price of 2 tubes. Well, 2 tubes would be £2.40. Okay, so 600ml would give you £2.40. What we could do is we could find out the price of 100ml. You might see in the shops, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Lidl, Aldi, on the labels they usually say for liquids the total cost per 100ml. So what we could do, get that £2.40 and divide it by 6, because we've got 600ml. That'll give us 40p. So that is 40p per milliliter. let's do it for Aquafresh. This one hasn't got a deal attached to it. It's just 250 millilitres. Oops, 250 millilitres for 95p. So what we could do, again, make it 100 millilitres. Okay, how do we get from 250 down to 100? We divide by 2.5. Divide by 2.5. So 95p. Where are we? 95p divided by 2.5. We're going to get 38p. 38p. So 100 millilitres is 40p for that one. 38p for this one. So this one is better value. The Aquafresh one, believe it or not. Okay, final question. So, what does it say? There are 2 boys for every 3 girls. 2 boys for every 3 girls on the O side of the year. And 5 boys for every 4 girls on the P side of the year. So, on the O side of the year, boys to girls is in the ratio 2 to 3. On the P side of the year, there are 5 to 4. Okay, now it says 60 boys, exactly 60 boys in each side of the year. Okay, so this goes to 60 to something, this goes to 60 to something. How do you get from 2 up to 60? We times by 30. Times this by 30 as well, we're going to get 90. Okay, how do we get from 5 up to 60? So for this one, we times by 30. This one, to get from 5 to 60, we times by 12. Okay, so we've got to times the 4 by 12 as well to get 48. So all these people together, there's 150. All of these people together, there is 108. Add them together, we get 258. Boom, done.